Hey there, welcome to Jackie Talks Horror. I'm Jackie, and today I'm doing a spoiler-free review of Sinners, a raunchy supernatural horror that hit cinemas on April 18, 2025. Set in 1930s Mississippi, Sinners fuses gothic horror with spiritual tension. Blues music and the realities of segregation collide in something raw and unforgettable. Just a heads up before we start, I'll be using images and the trailer throughout this video. I've also linked the trailer down below in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. I heard a lot of buzz about how good this film is, so I was very excited to see it. So, let's meet the characters. So first up, we have our main characters, Smoke and Stack, the Smokestack twins, played by Michael B. Jordan, from the Creed franchise and Black Panther. Jordan delivers a fantastic dual performance as both twins. There are no obvious green screen effects or clunky tricks. It really just seems like Jordan talking and interacting with himself. Here he gets to show off his wide acting range, and you completely buy into both characters as distinct individuals. Smoke is the more serious of the two, quiet, cautious, a planner and hard to read. Stack, by contrast, is emotional, loose-tongued and a bit of a wildcard. Next, you get Sammy Moore, played by Miles Catton. Sammy is a twin's cousin and the son of the local preacher, with talent to perform and sing the blues and has aspirations to using music to get away from his situation. His father considers his son as wasting his talent and worried about his soul. This is Mel Canton's, who is better known as a singer, first feature film, and he holds his own against Michael B. Jordan, which is no mean feat. Next, we have Delta Slim, played by Delroy Lindo. Slim isn't a major character in it, more a drunken old local blues legend that they get to join them on the way. And Delroy Lindo is excellent, adds a bit of a humour to the story, so he deserves a place with these characters. Next is Remick. Remick is a magnetic and commanding presence, played with quiet intensity by Jack O'Connell. He exudes a calm charm that draws you in, and while his role leans towards the antagonist side of things, there's a sense of purpose behind his actions. You may not agree with him, but you understand why he believes what he's doing, and that moral grey area gives the story real weight. Next is Annie, played by Wunmi Masoka, who you might know as Riel in His House. Annie is Smoke's estranged wife and a steady presence in the chaos. Mysterious but grounded, she brings a quiet power to the story, with more than a hint of someone who knows her way around spiritual forces and old black magic. Next is Marie, played by Hayley Steinfeld. She's Stack's ex-girlfriend, sharp, confident and unapologetically bold. She's the kind of woman who knows exactly what she wants, and whilst furious with Stack at the beginning, she seems to want Stack back, even though she's moved on and married. With such a strong cast bringing the characters to life, the story that unfolds around them has real emotional weight, and that's where the plot and pacing comes in. So the basic plot, as described by IMDb, follows twin brothers trying to escape their troubled pasts by returning home, only to find an even greater evil awaiting them. The first hour is dedicated to the backstory and character building. Then, much like Dusk Till Dawn, there's a major tonal shift. Suddenly, you're deep in supernatural chaos, and it goes hard when it kicks off. The pacing can be a bit slow at times, and at 2 hours 17 minutes can feel long, especially as a vampire action film, and they are generally faster paced. But the film is never boring, because it is just so much more than a vampire film. It's a powerful character-driven story with emotional weight and some dark humour throughout. The story itself is compelling, but it's Coogler's direction and stylistic choices that really elevate it. So let's look at the direction, style and execution. Ryan Coogler, the guy behind Black Panther and Creed, wrote, directed and produced Sinners. Even though it's way more niche than his usual blockbuster work, Warner Brothers handed him a $90 million budget. That's more than most non-franchise horror films get, which says a lot about how much they trusted his vision. The film is full of tension, horror, gore and action, and touches on social commentary and history, and doesn't rely on jump scares, but the horror of the story unfolding as you, the audience, get to know more than the characters. This is also a very raunchy film, a lot of adult dialogue and a couple of sex scenes, but it seems part of the story, so not too jarring when it goes there. But it isn't something you would watch with your parents or kids, even if they are used to horror films. One scene that stood out to me, and this isn't a spoiler, comes during a narration where it's said that music and dance can invite other spirits in. What we see are dances that seem to echo through the past and the future. It's eerie, gorgeous, and has a timeless haunted energy. It sounds like it shouldn't work, but it's narrated beautifully and made total sense in the context, and is one of my favourite parts of the film. The soundtrack does more than just set the mood. It's part of the storytelling, rooted in Delta blues but branching out into Irish and folk influences. The music reflects the characters' emotional journeys and cultural backgrounds. It gives scenes weight and texture, and some tracks feel like they're speaking for the characters themselves. The Duke joint performances in particular add authenticity and rhythm to the film, making the music feel like a living part of the world. Composer Ludwig Göransson blends all this with his score, which intensifies the suspense in the later acts without overpowering the story. Set in 1930s Mississippi, the film nails the atmosphere with authentic locations, period-accurate wardrobe, and language that captures the era and culture perfectly. The script writing is excellent, and that gives the actors a lot of substance to work with. But a quick note, you might need to watch this with the subtitles on, as some of the dialogue can be unclear. Okay, and now for my ratings. For cinematography and soundtrack, this film gets 4 out of 5. Beautifully composed sequences with standout lighting in the night scenes and colour grading that enhances the western tone. The soundtrack is genuinely catchy, even for someone like me that's not a big blues fan. It's not all blues though, there are a touch of Irish, folk, and the songs are tightly woven into the story. Göransson's score complements the rising tension beautifully. For visual effects and gore, the film gets 4 out of 5. The film blends practical effects with slick visual enhancements to create gore that feels grounded and purposeful. While a few scenes get intense, it never goes overboard or becomes a gore fest just for shock value. The characters, 4.5 out of 5. The main characters are well developed and easy to invest in, and even many of the supporting characters have enough backstory to make them feel lived in. I genuinely enjoyed spending time with this cast. The chemistry and depth added real weight to the story. The performances by Michael B. Jordan, Miles Campton, Delroy Lindo, Jeffrey Wright, Wunmi Masoku, and Haley Steinfeld are all top tier, arguably career-defining in some cases. For enjoyment and rewatch value, the film gets 4 out of 5. I imagine this film will make a lot of people's rewatch list, as it tells a compelling story you can't look away from, though, at over 2 hours long, it's a little on the long side. For personal score, this is a 4 out of 5 star film. The film really surprised me with how riveting it was, and how well Coogler's script held everything together. I'll definitely revisit, though it's such a ride, I may need a breather before diving in again. So, that's all for this review of Sinners. If you're into gritty, southern set thrillers with religious overtones, slow burn tension, and morally complex characters, then Sinners is definitely for you. And you really need to hang around for the mid-credits scene. It closes the film perfectly. Have you seen Sinners? What did you think of it? What's your favourite Michael B. Jordan film? Thanks so much for watching, and do leave your comments down below, but remember to be respectful. And remember, this is only my opinion of the film. It would be a boring old world if we all like the same things. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss what's coming next on this channel. This is Jackie signing off. Take care and see you next time.